I think I want to start with this idea from Roger McNamee, who's a venture capitalist in Silicon Valley, famed venture capitalist, was there the day that Jeff Bezos pitched Amazon and thought, that's cool, I love books by mail. And I talked to him recently, and he said, we have had a social revolution where young people in a tough job market are just starting companies. There may be 100 times as many startups over the last 4 or 5 years as in any period in the history of Silicon Valley. That is a really striking situation. What's going on?
I think that technology has, over the last 35 years, pushed power out of institutions to individuals. You know, if we were talking about a computer 35 years ago, we'd be talking about something that might fill this stage. And today, people walk around with these devices on their person that are significantly more powerful than a Cray supercomputer circa 1975 and a lot cheaper. And with that kind of computing power on people's persons, that really creates all kinds of changes to what's possible. You know, in 1820, the vast majority of Americans were self-employed as shopkeepers and subsistence farmers. By 1920, the vast majority of Americans are employed by a corporation. And over the last 20 years, that pendulum has swung back in a significant way to people being self-employed, to people starting their own companies. And you know, it sure beats having a boss.
Well, Karim Lakhani, what is happening? Do you think, so if you take the other side of what Roger McNamee said and what Nicco is saying, the other side is companies. Are companies, big companies, the companies that people wanted to work for once upon a time, the IBMs and the Intels and the Coca-Colas and the General Electrics, are they losing some of the smartest people?
Yeah, so I think what's happening is that people just have many more choices. So now you with your friend can be self-employed and participate in the marketplace and have your skills be demonstrated. So oftentimes people go to companies as a signal saying, you know, I have a GE, I worked at GE myself when I graduated, right? And having GE on a resume was worthwhile because you felt like that was going to signal to the marketplace that you had some qualities. Now, the marketplace, and you can now advertise your skills because people can observe your outputs. So you can write software, and if that software gets used by many people, either the App Store or on GitHub, then that in itself is a recognition which you don't need to go to GE for. And I think that's the shift that's going on, where the GEs of the world are saying, how do I attract the best talent? And the best talent says, why would I want to work for you, right, when I can do my own thing? And so GE comes back and says, well, we will solve big problems, so that's why you want to work for us. But now I think the power is also in the hands of the individual or a small team to also solve the big problems.
And you know, let's put some numbers to this. So if you look at employees, old companies versus new companies, Instagram had 13 employees when it was taken over for $1 billion. I was looking around for a company that's worth about $1 billion, and I finally hit on one after going through a lot of companies. Barnes & Noble, they've got about 33,000 employees. Yeah. What is happening that 13 people can build a company that's worth as much as a company that employs? This is just full-time employees, not part-time employees at Barnes & Noble. Yeah. What is going on that 13 people are worth as much as 33,000 people? So
I think the first thing that we see is there's been a secular shift in the cost of computation, right? So when I was graduating from MIT, you know, to do a startup, it would be 10 million bucks, right? And 30 engineers, and you buy all this hardware and software to get going. Today, and I graduated a long time ago. Today, you know, you are. I mean, if you get $500,000, you might be okay because the computation cost to you can get computation from the cloud, you can get tools from open source, and you can scale in ways that just was not possible before. And that's why we see Instagram basically was running on Amazon. Right? They had access to the Amazon web servers to be able to do what they were able to do. Same thing with WhatsApp as well. And I think what's going on is that the technology is becoming democratized, access to the technology is becoming widespread, and the tools for creation that generate value in the marketplace are also becoming democratized. And then what you're seeing is this creative recombination. People are coming up with new ideas and can instantly try them out in the marketplace. Before you had to get distribution, right, from Amazon, or if you're a musician, you have to get distribution from a record deal. Today, you know, my colleague in London and his 2 kids have an iTunes band, right, and they have global distributions on iTunes, right, singing from their garage. And that's what's so different about the world.